Yeah, well, I find that people need to come and see, because unless you see, you're not going to feel and understand the human suffering of a person. And sometimes you allow yourself to be, you know what, it was one more. So I think that people fail to see the human aspect, the fact that it's human beings, it's people like your mother, like your son, like people you know that are suffering, and that the political aspect is secondary to the human aspect, and we must be present to humanity in its most critical states, you know. And so I think we are a country that needs to learn how to take care of ourselves, take care of our borders, make sure our country is safe, but without neglecting humanity. You know, our policies must respond to the reality of what it is, a person. You know, and proceed to take care of the country, make it safe, but we need to feed them. We need to make sure that this human being is safe, you know, and in the process. And so they're running away from that, from bad people who are terribly, have no respect to life. We cannot be just one more that believes or acts like them, you know. We'll be above that. And so I think that America needs to see the fact that we're human beings, responsible, and have a moral obligation to one another to defend life and to protect it and to uphold it. And so we can never justify violence or turning our backs to another person in that way. So my hopes are that, you know, the way you can see that is if you come and see for yourself and become aware of the reality, you know. And so unfortunately, many of the people in the United States are misled by false information, a narrative that is political and is trying to just groom their minds to think and act the way they want them to, you know. We cannot let that happen. We have to be our own person. You know, there's things that do disappoint me and that I wish were different. I hold on to the innocence of a child that I see before me, that I don't have to do much to make that person, that little child, smile and be happy. You know? And that brings me hope. It makes me hope the fact that with so little effort I can touch a life and help that life feel better. And so it wakes me up every morning to say, so I can do more today and the next day and everything. As long as I have the capacity to get up and do something, I'm going to do it, you know. So it's my mission to share what I see and help others see the same, you know, see the facts, the truth, what it is really happening, you know. And so I've seen many people change. I've seen people come up to me and say they're 100% against what I'm doing and helping illegal aliens. And I said, let me show you what I do. Let me help you see what I see. And they see it for themselves and they change 100% completely and say, you're doing the right thing. This is what we need to do, you know. How can you deny water to a child or a mother, or milk, or the intention of recognizing that they matter, you know? They're a person. It's natural in us because we were born that way. God wired us that way so that we care. You know? So when you don't care, it's because you really are holding on to something that is not okay. You know, something that makes your heart hard. You know, and this is not how you were created. We were created, and so we need to break those hearts that are like stone and make them care. It's hard to reach to them if they don't want to be reached. They're shut down and they won't let you in. You know? They've made up their mind what they want to believe and what is for them the truth and the facts that they want to hold on to. and then nothing is going to be almost impossible to change them, you know,
Yeah.
unless they choose to. You know, it's like God says, God is knocking at your heart, but you have to open from the inside. You know, He won't even, not even God can come in if you don't let Him in. You know? So, believe me, He's always there to try to help us see. But if you don't want to see, there's nothing you can do. It's you are the one that has to make that decision. And the thing is that I think that moments when we are the weakest and at the lowest is that when there's a crack that allows the presence of God to come in, you know, and that's when we change and we are able to see life differently, you know. And so God is the only one that manages to get in through those cracks, and His Spirit really allows to work in us and change, you know. It's amazing. It's His power and His presence. So sometimes when you find yourself in situations where you see humanity suffering in such extremes that we react and we want to do something about that, you know. And so otherwise we forget. We get so caught up in our own world,
Right.
and we create such a little bubble of protection that keeps me safe and uninvolved, you know, don't care. It's, life goes on, and so we need to go around popping bubbles, you know. The more you get involved, the more you are part of life, of the world, what is happening, the freer you are, and the more full of life you are. And so you protecting yourself is like auto-destroying yourself, you know? And so it's self-defeating by taking that position of indifference, that position of I need to take care of me and my family. And no, you know, God will take care of us. You have to trust Him. If you do your part, He will do the rest. Okay? And He will make sure that your life will have some meaning, you know. And this is why we're here on this earth. To take care of one another. To use the gifts and the talents and the earth manifests for the good of all, to administrate it to the good of everyone. And so that's what we need to do. When you do that, you know, there's no need for depression pills or hardships of the fact that we create all these false ghosts in our lives that makes us depressed and makes us sad and angry and everything. You know, it's we create all of that in our life, you know.